How's it going?
It is going excellent. How about
Good.
you?
Good. How was your week?
My week was fantastic. Got to
Nice.
spend some time outside looking at waterfalls, which is always fun.
Sweet.
How about you?
My week was pretty good. Yeah, no
Yeah.
complaints. I think the weather was nice. Uh, New dog settling in.
Yeah, how's the new dog?
He's good. He came with the name Gibson because it's the first thing that everyone asks, what's his name? And I was like, well, he came with that name, and we just figured we'd stick with it because it may be easier to get a response and less confusion for him. So. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
he's
Gibson,
settled in quickly and well, I want to say, but still a very young mind and young soul. So
he sounds like a good dog. He sounds like I'm sure he's in a good place too with you.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. So, welcome, Gibson.
Yeah. Last week we were talking about the tenants.
We sure were. And I think we got up through balance
Yep.
and we got through harmony.
Harmony. Yep.
Um, but I don't think we got through trust.
Trust. Tell me about trust.
Uh, Trust is actually, I think we did get through trust, but I think that we have more things to say about trust.
Sure.
How about that?
Okay.
Um, so, gosh, this would be better if I could remember what we said last week. However,
Well,
um,
we do have this tenet uh, of trust, but we have the saying that we tend to repeat often, perfect love and perfect trust.
mhm. um, Yes, and without love, there can be no trust, and without trust, there can be no love.
True.
So, and another thing, and this really surprised me when I first was learning the tenets about the tenet of trust is you have to trust people to be who they are.
Yes.
So, and I remember this was beaten into my head over and over and over, and you don't.
Life will do that,
Oh
but
yeah,
people sometimes do that as well. Sometimes we fall in love with our initial misconceptions of them and hold on to that image forever,
yes.
when in fact they are different than our first impressions sometimes. And first impressions can be very telling, but sometimes we project on that person what we want them to be. You know, we project on them our desires, our wants. Um, so it can uh, it can be a colored vision when you're looking through rose-colored glasses.
That is very, very true. And that kind of illustrates the love and trust balance in such a good way because if you're seeing somebody for not who they are, do you really love them or do you love your own image of them? And if you're not seeing them in reality, how do you trust that person that you've misjudged?
Yes. And sometimes we love the person they were and not the person that they are, not the person that they've become. And that will sometimes muddy our vision.
Very, very much. Yeah, and one of the ways that you trust people to be who they are, one of the ways that that was taught to me is if you have a friend that you know wants to steal things, do you leave a $20 bill out on the table and then leave them unsupervised? Probably not, because if you say, "Oh, I can trust them," well, trust them to do what? Trust them to go against their nature or trust them to act on their nature.
Right.
So it's trusting people to be who they are, especially if you know who that is. And
Yes. And it's not sometimes who they think they are.
yeah, that's a great point. That's a great
Although
point.
many people have a good way of telling you exactly who they are if we look for the cues.
Tell
But
me
that,
about that.
oh, well, it takes a lifetime, I think. But sometimes people just tell you who they are. I don't know. I've known people that just tell on themselves all the time. And they're like, and then you'll ask them about like some behavior or something that happened to them, and they'll be like, "How'd you know that?" And I'll be like, "Well, I would love to say that I'm psychic, but you in fact told me."
You showed
I
me. Yep.
was, I was just paying attention. So,
Yeah, that's really true. Oh, I can't wait to talk more about that kind of thing when we go back to a little more divination too. So
yes,
that will
yes.
be
Trust,
coming.
trust, and love are topics that we talk about often. So we will definitely be returning to it. But I would say trust your gut feeling